That's why I say I cannot.
Happy peeps, healthy chat. It's peeps chat. Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Arisha. Welcome to the final episode of this season's PeepsChat show. Yes, you heard me right. Oh, Nikki, I feel kind of sad, but what to do? The show must goes on, right?
But yes, you're so right, Arisha. It's already the final episode. But for tonight's final episode, our topic will be protect our ocean, where we have two guests who will enlighten all of us about the ocean, coral reefs, turtles, and basically everything that is about under the water.
Yes. So without any more delay, let's welcome our guest for tonight episode, Miss Zafirah and Miss Hidayah. Hi and welcome.
Hi
Hello,
everyone.
hi.
Okay. So if
Hope
both
everyone's
of
doing
you
good.
Alhamdulillah,
Huh?
we're doing good. Thank you. So,
Good,
if both of
Alhamdulillah.
you don't mind, could you please introduce yourself a bit to our viewers out there? So, why don't we start with Miss Zafira first?
Okay, hello everyone. Assalamualaikum. I'm Nurul Zafirah Hamka, but just call me Zaf for short. So I'm the project manager for Perhentian project. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Next is Miss Hidayah. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello, assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. Good evening. So my name is Hidayah. So I'm the project manager for Perhentian Marine Research Station. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy our session tonight.
Hey, hi, Miss
Hi,
Zafira and also Miss
hi.
Hidayah. Welcome. Okay, so before we proceed with the interview, number one, I just want to remind you guys out there to give tonight's episode a big thumbs up. And number two, for the viewers out there, if you have any questions for our guests tonight, feel free to type it out in the comment section down below. And if we have enough time, inshallah, we will have both of our guests, both Miss Zafira and also Miss Hidayah, to answer your questions. Okay. All right.
All right. So, without further ado, why don't we dive into our first question? First is for
Nice.
Miss Hidayah. All right. So, Miss Hidayah, can you tell us what PMRS is all about? Where does it base and what does this organization actually do in the marine conservation action?
Okay, so for PMRS, PMRS is stand for Perhentian Marine Research Station. So PMRS is a small conservation station that is based in Perhentian Islands. So we based in the kampong of the Perhentian. So operational works of PMRS is mainly involve coral reef ecosystem. So we monitor and assess the health of coral reef, and another focus area of PMRS is also the coordinating the waste management of activities, for example, like beach cleanups, recycling initiatives, and also green practices. So diving is the essence of PMRS. So we dive frequently, quite a lot during the season, and visiting the dive site just to see if there are any changes on the coral reef, or is there any actions needed. For example, like plastic, we need to remove plastics, and also ghost net. And then yeah, we have a weekly bleach cleanups, and also for green practices of all the businesses. So we do stakeholder engagement. So this is how we are trying to
Oh.
have a collective efforts from every stakeholder to contribute to the marine conservation. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
So
All right. Very
diving
interesting.
is essential. So I want to know, I would say, how to say the depth, like kedalaman diving.
So it's depending. For like Perhentian, we don't have much deep dives, but there will be one or two dive site that can go to 26 meter.
Ooh,
But the
wow.
rest is most of the diving sites in Perhentian is pretty much safe. I will say average like a few, like 12 to 14, so it's normal lah. Yeah.
Ah, all right. Okay, so my next question is actually going to be directed to Zaf. So, Perhentian Turtle Project. From the name, we know that this project is about turtles. But can you tell us a bit more about this project in detail? And also, what is this project about and how is this project conducted?
All right, thank you so much, Nikki, for the question. So, Perhentian Data Project, just called PTP, right, for short. So, PTP has been officially established ever since 2015 as a sea turtle research and conservation initiative under Physical Outdoor. So, we're like a sub project of FE, just like PMRS. And we work in close collaboration with the local community, stakeholders, Department of Fisheries, which we call DOF, and also Marine Park Division. And our works include kayak survey, and then we do nightly beach patrols, and then we also do sea turtle stranding response and also awareness campaign. So for PTP, we are currently based in two places. So the first one is in the village, Fisherman Village, which in Malay we call Kampung Pasir Hantu. And then another one we have the second base, which is at the Nasting Beach. So that one we call it the Pantai Tiga Ruang. So beside the Nasting Beach, we also conduct survey at Teluk Pau, which is the seagrass bed that serve as a green turtle stranding site. So our aim is to understand the population of the sea turtle in Perhentian Island, especially in the Perhentian Island. So we want to know where the turtle go, and then what are the things that they eat, and also we want to actually help the turtle if the turtles are injured and all. So our objective include to understand the population size and also the dynamic, because sometimes we see the turtle eat in Perhentian but they nest at Lang Tengah Island, and also they go to another country like Thailand and all. So we want to know why the turtle go there, and is there any like increasement or decrease in the habitat and also the population in Malaysia. And also sometimes we also got a call from the stakeholders in Perhentian Island and also the tourists in Perhentian Island. Sometimes they call us and say that, hey, we found a turtle injured in this place. Can you come to rescue the turtle? So we go to that place and rescue the turtle. Let's see if the turtle are dead, then we will measure the carapace of the length of the carapace of the turtle and see if that turtle is a new turtle or a redeciding turtle. So from that data, we can understand the population of the turtle, especially in Perhentian Island.
Oh,
I
wow, very
see.
in depth. I asked for detail. She
Yeah,
gave every single detail, and it's very
that's
good detail. We know that they save turtles for us, and not just save, they collect data from them and try to figure out, try to learn more about them, right?
Yeah.
right. So I want to know, so far how many turtles are there in Perhentian?
In our database, ever since 2015, we have around 300 each of turtle, but not all of them are alive. Sometimes they just like we found them only once, and usually we found turtle at the nesting area and also in our in water data survey. That's why we do the kayak survey and also the nesting beach.
I see. All right.
Ah, I see.
Okay, so for Miss Hidayah, so I have a question for you, which is what is the current condition of coral reefs in Malaysia? Are they considered healthy, and what are the among the initiatives that have been made by PMRS itself to preserve coral reefs?
Okay, so like the current conditions. So I'm not trying not to be
Mm-mm.
so
Yes.
passive with the conditions, but the truth is the overall condition for the coral reef in Malaysia are in fair condition. So like we have Reef Check Malaysia that conduct annual survey just to see how coral reef around Malaysia is doing, and we got four category, which is excellence, good, fair, and poor. Unfortunately, like our coral reef overall lah, it's not like it's an average when we do the data collections. So Malaysia falls into fair, which is on the third category out of four. So this is concerning a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. So like that's why we have a lots of NGOs is doing their work, how try to preserve, try to conserve, try to restore the habitats, like reef ecosystems. And what we are doing, so for PMRS, as much as the diving is the essence of our operational work, so we start promoting eco diving practices. So like just dive, observable meanings that we dive with the knowledge. We are aware what is happening down there. Like we know that coral reef is very important ecosystems, is a habitat, it is everything for the marine life. So we try to educate our volunteers that comes to PMRS just to practice things like the buoyancy is the master. Like you have to master buoyancy, so you won't step on the coral, you won't break the corals, and there is no physical interactions with the marine life. So like whatever we have down there is just observing. And apart
Oh.
from that, on the lands that we are trying to extend our efforts to the stakeholders around. So like we have dive shops, we have local eateries, resorts, and so on, so that everyone participates in trying to be involved in the conservation activities, even though it's even though it's a small step, like practicing no plastics and so on. So we all know there is a before this is a popular video like there's plastic out of the turtles nose, so that is really impacting. So like plastic needs to be reduced. More green practices like eco snorkel awareness. So we are on the islands like PTPs and PMRS.
Oh.
We are hosting awareness talk, something like that lah. And then now
So,
we are in the stage like empowering the local community. So we have
mhm.
youngsters like youth or Perhentian to be parts of the activities that we are running, like ghost net removal, replanting corals. So
Okay.
they're gonna involve with us. Yeah.
All right. So we cannot step on the coral reefs, right?
Yeah,
So
please don't step on the coral. Even though
okay.
it's a batu karang, it's not batu
Mm-mm.
actually, it's an animal. It's a living
All right.
organism.
So okay, Miss Daya. So we have more questions to ask to both of our guests here. But before that, why don't we take a break? Stay tuned only on PeepsChat by IIUM TV.
I didn't know there were actually 5 hours.
I fixed it to pornography. Don't recycling at your fire.
Wow.
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 Zipa ang panikim, ha? Simon.
I am Arisha.
And I'm Nikki.
Happy Pips.
Healthy chat.
Thumbs up.
Happy Peeps, Healthy Chat. Welcome back to Peeps Chat, everyone, where we have not one but two special guests to join us to discuss the topic Protect Our Ocean. So let's welcome back Miss Hidayah and also Miss Zafirah. Hi.
Hi.
All right. So let's not waste any more time. I'm just gonna ask the questions right away. My next question is for Miss Hidayah. So, focusing on coral reefs, which is one of the important underwater ecosystems, I believe that the environmental condition that is rapidly worsening has damaged the coral reefs. So, we want to know how can coral reefs be restored or protected from this kind of threat?
So yeah. Yeah, as everyone knows, so it's a climate change is like a very popular, it's a sexy topics now. So everyone's talk about the climate, and then even what we are facing now, like a sudden change in our weathers and so on. So it's also impacting everything lah. So like how to restore reefs and to protect the reef. So I would say it needs a collective effort. So it cannot be done by people's on the grounds only. So like we are the conservation projects on the grounds. We try our best. Like we have access to the ocean, so we can do restorations, we can do coral plantings, but the main effects, like the main factors that impacting the coral reef is that the water condition itself. So like on our side, we are trying our best to see which methodology, which locations that is very that is efficient and effective for us to do coral restorations, replanting the coral back. Because sometimes it can be damaged by humans activities, it can be damaged by natural factors, for example, like typhoons, or even sometimes we have storms. So like in Perhentian, we got a big storm in 2019, like early 2019, I believe, is a pabo. So that one has damaged certain parts of the our coral reef over there. So like how we with coral reef is very fragile ecosystem. So like to restore it, it takes a lots of time. So like we can't make like a coral farms, or even is gardening the coral like instantly in 1 or 2 years and it's going to flourish. But like the most important part is try not to destroy the ecosystem in the first place. It's like everyone has to play the roles, even the tourists.
Tourists and
So yeah, also
everyone.
parts of the important target, like stakeholders for us. Like, and then the local communities over there, they have their roles, like practicing sustainability. So like everyone have to understand the sustainability. It's not that we cannot utilize natural resources that we have, but we really need to be very mindful of how we um, use the resources. So like there's a lots of way how to restore. It's not, no, I would say it's not an easy way to restore the habitat, but there will be a is applicable. So like everyone can do that by contributing every little efforts in helping the coral reef ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay, faham. Okay, so I know this is a bit like tiba-tiba, but okay, I'm gonna ask the next question to Miss Zafira pula, or Zaf. Okay, so let's say like in Zaf, if we walked around the beach and we saw baby turtles hatch, or turtles eggs, or even turtles laying the eggs, what are the steps that we should take?
Oh, that is a good question. But first of all, don't panic. I know it can be quite a night if you found a stranded turtle on the beach. But the first thing that you have to do is to control the crowd, because especially if there's a turtle, a lot of people will just like, oh hey, there's a turtle, I want to touch the turtle. But please don't do it, because the turtle will get scared and they will just like go away. So if you see a nesting turtle, the first
True.
thing that you have to do is to turn off any light, because the turtles are very sensitive to light. And then the second thing that you have to do is to minimize your movement, because you don't want to scare them away. And
Ah,
then the next thing that you have to do is jaga SOP, jaga jarak, because you have to give them some space for them to breathe.
mhm.
And then depending on where you are, lah, if you are in Perhentian Island, then you have to call the Marine Park Division, or maybe you can call Perhentian Theatre Project. Or if you are somewhere else, then you can call the Department of Fisheries for them to help you to relocate the eggs. And while waiting for the experts to come, you have to beware of the poachers, because there must be poachers around you and they just want to collect the eggs because they want to sell the eggs.
Oh
So just be beware of
no.
the poachers, and then just wait for the expert to come and they will relocate the eggs for you. But if you
Ah.
found the eggs, usually you won't really see the eggs because it will be buried underneath the sand, right? But if you notice that the sea turtle tracks are new and you are confident that the turtle has come to nest, so you have to immediately call the Marine Park Division or Department of Fisheries or the Sea Turtle Conservation Project or even us to check on the tracks. So if there are a new tracks, then we will collect the eggs for you. And if you see a hatched turtle, so if you see like a baby turtle crawling up from the eggs, so just let them crawl up to the open ocean naturally lah, because we just want everything to be natural. But before that, please ensure that you remove every threats, which include the
Mm-hmm.
crab holes, because previously in Perhentian Island there was one time where we don't really see there are a crab hole, so we're just like, okay, we want to release the hatchlings, and then the hatchlings just like, okay, we cannot see the hatchlings anymore. Where did they go? So actually, the
Uh-huh.
hatchling tiba termasuk in the crab hole. So we don't want that to happen. So before
Mm-hmm.
you release the hatchling, please remove any potential threats. Is that answer your
Yes.
question?
Yes, very much.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for the answer.
All
Very
right.
interesting facts.
True, that's so true. All right, so for Miss Hidayah, I want to ask. So I watched these videos on YouTube, and I noted that there are some corals that are pretty, and also some are not that pretty. So actually, what makes that happen? And in your opinion, will all pretty corals disappear one day?
Okay, so okay, let's go dig into a little bit of facts about coral. So corals have a variations of color. So it can ranging from yellow up to greenish, and then it can go to the browns and even reddish colors. So these colorations is dictated by the zooxanthellae, so the algae that reside in the coral. So coral have a, we will say, is a cohabitat. So they got corals and then they got algae. So this algae give the pigmentation, so give the coloration. So like when you snorkeling, you guys diving, bear in mind also like we are dealing with the depths, like water depth. So like in the shallow water, so there's a light, like a good light penetration. We can see all the colorations. Like it's very nice, bright green, bright yellow. So when we go deeper diving, up to maybe 10 meters, 12 meters. So like it's tend to be more brown because of the light
Mm-hmm.
penetration, the wavelength cannot penetrate. So there's a few factors about on that. So we'll see. So some discolor, sometimes people tend to assume that the coral is dead, but in fact, it's not really. It's not the dull coral is not like not healthy and so on. But when
Oh.
you diving, you can notice some of the coral like have all the lumut like the algae, like that epiphyte
Mm-hmm.
algae. So that one is a dead coral. So it covers. So the algae overgrow the coral. So coral cannot defend itself anymore. So the algae, epiphyte algae, just take place. So and then we can see dead coral. We call that is a dead corals. And then some of the coral has been broken off, fall downs, and then there will white rubbers. We call it coral rubbers. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, the next question is about so what's actually happened, is it? So it's
Yeah.
depending. So like the broken corals can be it can come from the human activities. Step on the coral when you dive, you just swim with the fins, and then you kicking the corals, it can broken off. So like coral really fragile, it's really sensitive, especially the branching one that looks like a tree. So that one is easy to broke off. And then it can be done by the natural threat, which is typhoon, storm, and then sometimes a big wave, especially during the monsoon. We can see some changes lah. So like the dive sites changing every season. We can for long term divers, long term staff on the islands, so they can see the changes of every dive sites in Perhentian. So like and so for this is one of the among the factors that are worsening the coral reef
The
ecosystem. It's
coral
like
reefs.
yeah, so like all the damage done, all the environmental factors, human factors. In my opinions, I would say I cannot say in my opinion. So because there is a consensus from the scientists in 2020 Ocean Scientist meeting. So they assume, so they estimate that all coral reef will be died by 2015, 2050, 2050 if all the reef are left unchecked, unmonitored, and then there is no restoration effort. So that means people just don't care what happens to the
Mm-hmm.
coral reef. Eventually, it's gonna die. And
Mm-hmm.
also NOAA, like organization from US, so also mentions about in 2050 to 2050, all coral reef in the world are in threatened. So like basically
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, it's a concerning issues for us in the marine conservation area. But yeah, it's always a day to save the coral, to save the habitat. So like, yeah,
Mhm.
let's work for
And
it.
as you mentioned just now, like it's everyone's responsibility to take care of the corals together, right?
Yeah,
Yes, it's
Hmm.
true.
it's
All right, so
everyone's responsibility.
everyone's responsibility. So, before we further discuss the topic, protect our ocean, with two of our special guests, why don't we take another break? We'll be back only on Peeps Chat by IIUM TV. Thank you. I didn't know there were actually 5 hours.
Addicted to pornography. Don't recycling at your party.
Wow.
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 Siapa yang panik game ah? Sign what?
I am Arisha.
And I'm Nikki.
Happy Pips.
Healthy chat.
Thumbs up.
Happy Pips, Healthy Chat. Welcome back to the final episode of this season's Pips Chat. If you guys do not know yet, the topic for tonight's episode is Protect Our Ocean, where we have not one, but two special guests to discuss it.
Yes. All right. So, Aisha, would you want to continue with your question for Zaf?
Yes, sure. So for Zaf here, I have a question for you. Like, when poachers steal the eggs, many environmentalists oppose the action by claiming that it would lead to the extinction of the turtle, and there is even law against those who illegally sell the turtle's eggs. Why do people, I mean here is environmentalist, argue that, and how vital are the turtles to our ecosystem?
Thank you so much, Arisha, for the question. So it is very important to prove the egg to save the turtle because there are so many threats towards the sea turtle. The first one, as everyone knows, is the plastic pollution. So actually, when the sea turtle see a plastic, they might think that is a jellyfish. So they might eat the plastic. So the toxic will get into their body and they will die because of that. And then if they eat the plastic, they will think they are full, but actually they're not. Then they will die because of hunger, and they might have a buoyancy problem because of that. And another problem, another threat to sea turtle is the fishing net entanglement. So if there's a lot of fishing net, and if the turtle gets stuck in the fishing net, the tissue will get cut into their tissue. The net will get cut into their tissue, and then they will get limp, and they will die because of that. And another thing is the habitat loss. So as you know, in Perhentian Island, there's a lot of resorts. So we have beach erosion because of that. Because as you know, if we put concrete on the sand, it will fasten the erosion. So because of that, there won't be any place anymore for turtle to nest. So that might be sad for turtle because it will reduce the population of the sea turtle. And the last thing, the threats for sea turtle is the boat strike. So in Perhentian Island, because there's a lot of tourists and the boat will go super super fast because they want to be fast, right? So they will cut they will like hit the turtle. So the turtle always injured because of that. So it is very sad for the turtle. And if we sum up everything with the natural threat, the turtle will only survive 1 out of 1,000 if that is for natural threats. But if we add up with all of the threats that I mentioned before, it is 1 out of 10,000. So meaning if you release 10,000 of hatchling, only one will survive. So that is very, very important why we need to save every turtles, every eggs that we found.
I see.
I see. All right. So the next question is also for Zaf. Coral farming, or also known as coral gardening, is the cultivation of coral for commercial or restoration purposes. In your opinion, Lagan Zaf, is coral farming for the purpose of profit ethical? Because we can see that there are some organizations in Malaysia that plant corals and sell them online.
Okay, I believe you mean this is about the coral adoption package because just like PTP, we have adopt a turtle package. So basically, I have no problem with that because we understand that a small conservation project, an NGO, we need funding to like do our restoration project to conserve the animals. So we always use that money to run the project. So for example, if we adopt a turtle, we adopt a coral, that money will be run towards the project. So eventually we will have more funding to do more good things. For PTP, usually the people will pay for adopt a turtle and then they will receive a certificate and an info pack about the turtle that they adopt. And the money that they give to us, it is like a gift to us. So we use that money to run our project to do the kayak survey and night patrol and all because night patrol, kayak survey, it is quite expensive and we are like a small project, small NGO, so we really need funding. So if you have extra money, if you cannot volunteer, please help the small project by doing adoption package.
Ooh, so you can actually adopt your own turtles.
Yeah, and we have
Wow.
quite a number of turtle. We have Polly, we have Molly, so you can actually choose which turtle you want to adopt, and you can give them. You can give it as a gift, like for happy birthday or maybe for Chinese New Year.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
All right.
Yeah, just hop to our website.
Wow. All right. That is very interesting. Okay. But the next question is for Ms. Hidayah pula. Okay. So, for the people who live on land which are far from these ecosystems, what can we do to help preserve these marine ecosystems, in your opinion?
Okay, so as I say, so it's of everyone's responsibility. Like for me, I will give the ownerships to everyone's that even though you guys like the peoples on the mainland see that they are far from the land, but this is our natural resources. So like
True.
Malaysia is a maritime country, so we our land is covered on the east coast to the west coast down to the south. So we are covered by the ocean, so the seas and the ocean. So like it's everyone's home and everyone's natural heritage, I will say. So like, so what we can do, even though we are from afar, so always try to see step by step. So like individually, what we can do to help um, this ecosystem. One, I will say, reduce every activities that contributes to the environmental harm. So I will say, like people will say, okay, reduce electric. So this electric consumption has an impact, even though we cannot see like a direct link to the sea, but it's like the more consumption of electric is the country needs to produce more electric. So like this electric is coming from the coal. We burn the coal. Like unfortunately, Malaysia is still using coal to produce our electricity. So this burning and so on is increase the temperatures. So like the carbon, we can see that carbon, we release the carbon dioxide and it increase the temperatures and so on. So like every single step that we are doing, we can try to reduce all the activities that can lead to the environmental impact. So that is on the personal level, like people in the city, they can use electric efficient electrical appliance, try to reduce water consumption. So like all these things that we can do. And then when we go traveling, so become a tourist, so we have to see ourselves as tourists. Please be uh one, travel with the purpose. So let's see why you're traveling to the Perhentian Island, for example, just to see coral, just to see Nemo. So we have a lots of Nemo. I believe everyone's love Nemo, they're so cute. So like whenever you are traveling, try to find the operators that are practicing eco businesses. So like eco snorkeling, that yeah, try not to feed the fish. So this is a common practices I can observe. Like the tourists like to give the bread to the fish. Please don't do that
Mm.
because it's gonna change the fish behavior. So the fish become aggressive because they used to have people giving them food. So like for example, if I'm going to snorkeling, so I don't have bread
Mm-hmm.
with me. So they're gonna start picking or even like poking my leg, poking my hand. So like and then we can say the fish become bekeng. So like a Kelantanese, they call it bekeng.
Oh, okay,
So
Klate pakai baking.
Kelantan panggil bekeng lah. So then we
Oh.
don't want that behavioral change in our animals. And apart from that, I would say always remember this ecosystem, this habitat is a home to our marine
Mm.
life. So this is the shelter, coral reef is their nursery, coral reef is their playground, or coral reef is also feeding ground. We don't want people to disturb our home. It's the same as the animals over there. So just observe softly, calmly. So don't step on the coral, don't try to feed the fish, don't try to touch anything over there. Just remember, the more beautiful a marine alive, the more dangerous it is. So like lionfish, it's really pretty, but it's the
Yeah.
toxic. So it's really toxic. So try to it's for your safety also lah. Like even the same with the turtles. Try not in Perhentian we are lucky, so the turtles here don't eat from humans activities, but we can
Mm.
see the aggressive behavior somewhere else where when people don't feed them, they're gonna start like come and be aggressive towards you. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so like overall, always be eco-minded whenever you
Mm-hmm.
go traveling, and let's remember like this is our natural heritage, so we share the ownership together to protect the
Yes.
ecosystem. Yeah.
All right, so there you go, everyone. That's tips for
Yes.
us on how to preserve these marine ecosystems without us actually having to volunteer, right?
True. Thank you,
Mhm.
Miss Hidayah, for all of the very good tips. After knowing all of the tips on how to preserve the marine life, I want to ask: did PMRS or PTP open for volunteers in your organization activity, or to be part of the team? Like, how can actually people be part of it? Okay, so let's start with Miss Zafirah. Zaf first.
All right. So for that, if you want to be part of the team, you can actually be an intern. So for an intern, there's no like age limit or whatever. You can just like submit to be an intern. So for next year, we are open for internship. And if you don't want to be an intern, if you want to be a volunteer, you can come to be a volunteer. So the minimum for volunteering is for 1 week, and there is an age limit. So it is 18 and above for that. And then if you want to see a turtle, a foraging turtle is around April to September, but for nesting turtle is around May to August. And for hatchling is around June to September. So if you want to be an intern, if you want to be a volunteer, just go to our website, www.perhentianturtleproject.org, and yeah, just hit us up.
Wow,
All
very
right.
easy. How
Wow.
about PMRS? How do we
Yeah,
Yes.
we
be a
are.
part of PMRS?
So we are running the same system where we are welcoming the interns so that you guys can come to the few roles that we have volunteer coordinators, we have waste management and resource management, and also we have a few programs like marine scholars and research coordinators. So like these are the roles that support PMRS activity. Apart from that, so like the minimum stay for the interns is 3 months. So like the maximum is the whole season, 8 months. And then apart from that is the volunteering program. So, but this volunteering program mainly for the diverse, but We also can accommodate non-divers, where non-divers, they have to join us minimum for 2 weeks. First week is for
Mhm.
qualification, diving qualification, course, and so on. And second week onward, they're gonna start diving. But for the divers, they can come
Mm-hmm.
dive with us. So we are offering 8 dive per week, and a few more activities that are related to the marine conservations. For example, like beach cleanups, and also what unique about Fusicotier, like the PTPs and PMRS, is that we integrate local cultural experience also. So that is where we have Malay
Wow.
dinner with aunties in the kampong. So they're gonna cook, we're gonna eat their food, and we also have that because we are staying in the kampong. So basically, they can feel how kampong in Perhentian. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah, just hit us up
I
on
see.
website and then see more. Mm.
I
All
see. So
right.
after you guys know how to volunteering, or maybe you guys are interested to be internship if you are in the course, all right. Don't forget to give the to go to the link. All right. So before we end the
Mhm.
show, Miss Hidayah and Miss Zafira, do you have any last words for the viewers? Why don't we start with Miss Hidayah?
So I'm
No,
good. No,
all
thank
good.
you for
Okay.
thank you for listening. Yeah, it's been great experience sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if anyone's come to Perhentian and then wants to have more insights of marine conservation, just visit
Mhm.
us. We are happily and welcoming everyone to
Yes.
PMI.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Hidayah. And then Zaf.
Okay, for me, I just want to say thank you so much to Nikki and Arisha for hosting today's show.
No
It was very
problem.
pleasure to meet you guys and also Hidayah. And to everyone out there, don't forget to save the turtle. That's all. See you
Yes.
guys in Perhentian. Please
Yes.
visit.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you guys in
Let's save the
Perhentian in the
marine
future,
life.
inshallah. All right. So,
Inshallah.
with that being said, thank you so much to both Miss Hidayah and also Miss Zafira for sparing your precious time to be here with us and agreeing to join our humble show and sharing a lot of insightful information on how to protect our ocean.
Yes, and thank you to all the viewers out there for tuning into tonight's episode of Pips Chat. In this opportunity, I would like to thank my partner here, Nikki, for being such a wonderful partner, and then to my producer, Zaleha, and everyone involved in making Pips Chat a really great and entertaining show. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Ala, Arisha dati, I po dati juga. So, I would like to thank all the
Sure, sure.
crews that made this season's Peeps Chat show a success. And not to forget, thank you to all the guests that we've invited throughout the whole season for this semester, for all the wonderful and insightful knowledge and also experience that they have shared upon us. All right. So, with that being said, don't forget to give tonight's episode a big thumbs up. And since tonight is the final episode, don't forget to catch our previous, bukan next, previous episodes while waiting for
Betul.
a new season to come up on IIM TV's YouTube channel and also Facebook page.
Last but not least, don't forget to follow IIUM TV on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Spotify. I just want to tell you guys that you guys can actually listen to our podcast on Spotify.
Yes. All right. With that being said, we'll see you again, inshallah, in the next season with more epic topics and also amazing guests. Don't forget to stay safe and abide by the SOPs. I am Nikki.
And I'm Marisha, only on Happy Pips, Healthy Chat. It's Pip Chat by IUM TV. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good night, everyone.
Bye.